Bethel House of Refuge, Mahomet, Illinois, USA.
And Compassion Now Network for All International, Urbana, Illinois, USA.
Presents this week's breaking news in wellness and in health and Bible health for all people and for all professionals. Hi, I'm the Pete of Dr. Z and Pete. I'm the president of Bethel House of Refuge in Mahomet, Illinois. Previous to that, owner-operator of a construction company that operated in East Central Illinois. I and my wife, Stephanie, currently reside in Farmer City, Illinois. This gentleman to my left in the green striped flashy shirt is my good friend and my distinguished co-host and my colleague, Dr. Alex Rama Zechariah. MD. Doc is a medical doctor and a medical professor, as well as the CEO of CNN for All International. He's a busy fella. Recently, Doc was the chief medical officer, the medical director of Provena, now Presence United Medical Center. That's Samaritan Medical Center in Danville, Illinois. He was there in 2008 and part of 2009, and prior to that, he was the dean of one of the top 10 medical schools out of 300 plus medical schools in India, Christian Medical College in Ludhiana, India. Doc and his wife, Prema, also a retired physician and professor, spent 43 years at Christian Medical College in Ludhiana, first as medical students, then as faculty, until they retired in 2000. Doc and Prema now reside in Urbana, where they've been since 2005. Doc got a lot of experience, an outstanding resume, a lot of information, Bible knowledge. I'm privileged to co-host with you on this week's Breaking News in Wellness and Health and underlined Bible Health. And I would like you to explain the details of what we're doing here.
Thank you for joining us for our program. Please note this is not medical advice. This is for your information only. Do not change your treatment based on this info. You may mention this to your health team, your physicians, and the others. You can ask them to watch us.
Absolutely. Please ask them to watch. Mm-hmm. If you would like to comment or ask a question, you can do that by email, peter@bethelhouseofrefuge.com. That's peter@bethelhouseofrefuge.com. Well, we got a lot going on today, Doc, so we better jump right in. We're going to talk about a lot of things. The first thing is a diet that combines unsaturated fats with nitrite-rich vegetables such as olive oil and lettuce can protect you from hypertension. And that's the suggestion of a recent study. The findings help to explain why some previous studies have shown that a Mediterranean diet can reduce or help reduce blood pressure. The Mediterranean diet typically includes unsaturated fats found in olive oil, nuts, and avocados, along with vegetables, Doc, like spinach, celery, and carrots that are rich in nitrites and nitrates.
Yes, this is very helpful.
So these are good nitrites and nitrates.
These are the nitrites that opens up your heart.
Oh, really?
See, when you get angina, pain, you just put it under your tongue. That's a nitrite.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
So that nitrite is actually keep your blood.
Now, what's the difference between these that in nitrites and nitrates that are in bacon that everybody's freaking out about?
Yeah, that has a different molecular structure.
Okay.
Yeah. This new study led by the King's College, London, and findings were published in the journal PNAS, May 2014, helped to explain why some previous studies have shown that Mediterranean diet can reduce blood pressure, as already mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of hoping that for bacon lovers, they might be correcting their misinformation, but it seems like, you know, some of the nitrites and nitrates in bacon aren't good for you.
No, those nitrites still do good, but the bacon part that does the bad.
How can you have a BLT without B? Oh, all right. For otherwise healthy middle-aged women who are overweight or obese, physical activity may be their best option for avoiding a heart attack or heart disease, according to a recent study that followed nearly 900 women for 7 years. That's a long time. Being overweight or obese increases a person's risk for developing conditions such as hypertension, elevated triglyceride levels, and elevated fasting glucose levels. All of them are risk factors for heart disease, the leading cause of death in the United States.
Yes.
Heart disease.
Yes. This study from Albert Einstein College of Medicine of Yeshiva was
Yeah.
published in May, in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. So take note.
It all comes back to diet too,
Yeah.
doesn't it, Doc? I mean,
Yeah.
what we're eating or not eating, man, we have got to get on top of our food intake if we are going to live healthy, productive lives in our senior years. Efforts to combat obesity can be a threat to businesses that produce and sell food that makes you porky. If people eat less, I added that, eat less, the buying of those things will decline.
Yes.
So what they want them to do in the food industry, that they don't want to appear to be non-responsive to what some have called a public health crisis, and it employs several tactics to maybe manipulation to maintain legitimacy and position itself as part of the solution as opposed to the problem, while also protecting profits, which I understand. And that we find in this new study. Food companies frame obesity as an issue of choices, which is true, that people are making rather than the choices that they are being offered. However, you know, when you look at the sign on McDonald's that says you can have this and it's 760 calories, you better figure out that normal people are 2,000 and below in terms of caloric intake.
Yes.
And 3 of whatever you got will put you over the limit.
Over the limit.
They're still selling them,
Yes.
even though they're framing them
Yes.
differently, right?
The study was published in the journal Social Currents, June 2014. While better products might be an important step, most of the companies making minor modifications to their products. PepsiCo, J&J. What is J&J?
I don't know. Snack food?
Snack food,
Nestle?
Nestle are the same companies making the harmful products that contribute to the obesity and other health and environmental problems in the first place. So it is that particular aspect is very interesting and important.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, Doc, it's a problem that
Yes.
we really need to look at clearly, because what the companies are responding to
Yes.
is economic pressure.
Yes.
And if people stop buying these things
Yes.
because of what the contents are,
Yes.
that's going to be one thing. But if the people are wanting them, what it comes back down to is choices, habits that people have created. And you know, some of the things that are in the foods create cravings, right?
Yes, it does.
And so then, I mean, you eat one chocolate bar and you want 3 more.
Yes. That's called a reward system, the reward circuit.
Yeah.
The reward circuit in the brain.
And so what we have is a company that has offered things that people have consumed. I mean, look at these things, Nestle's, Mars. There's not much food value in the things that they're selling, but there's a huge economic investment that they have. Now, my thought is that the economic pressure that buying brought to these companies can also work in the reverse. Economic pressure of not buying them leaves the stuff on the shelf. You have to consider, are your products acceptable any longer? And it comes back to choice again, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about obesity.
Yes.
Talk to me about obesity and how some of the things that really can affect change. I mean, we've talked about, you know, our little song.
Yes.
What ought people to be eliminating from their diets? From your perspective as a medical professional, look, if I want my car fixed, I go to a mechanic, an auto professional. So I want to know, look at me, I'm a little bit oversized. What's going to help me out?
Yes, choices, and that is the important aspect. You know, avoid or minimize carbohydrate.
All right, tell me, where are carbohydrates found? What food sources?
Well, all the soft drinks.
Oh, I don't drink soft drinks.
All right.
What about bread and pasta? And what about rice? Is rice carbohydrate laden?
Yes, rice has the maximum carbohydrate, while wheat has carbohydrate and protein.
Okay.
And soybeans has more protein and carbohydrate.
Would that be an indication that, like Chinese food, maybe,
Yes.
where it has, Tofu.
Yes.
What about vegetables and fruits, fresh and cooked? I mean, talk to me about that.
Yes, so going for vegetables is very important.
Okay.
And absolutely. And so vegetables, all kinds.
Okay.
Because that's a filler.
Right.
And it gets the fiber.
Right.
So two things, filler and fiber.
Okay.
And wash it well.
Yes.
And it's good that we sort of wash it well several times. And just consume it raw.
Yeah. Well, I like cauliflower and broccoli. I prefer raw anyway.
But there is a catch in that.
Okay, what is it?
And that is, we have this wonderful raw vegetables, which is excellent, but we load it with salad dressing, which is loaded
Right.
with calories.
So the good is diluted.
What diluted? Neutralized.
Oh, yeah.
Except you get the
All right,
fiber part.
so, well, maybe you could use like lime juice or lemon juice.
You got
or,
it. You got it. So
yeah.
avoid. I mean, I'm not against salad dressing. Even if you do it, put a teaspoon or two.
Yeah.
And the rest, put particularly lime juice.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like to put soya beans. What is that? Soya sauce.
Soy sauce?
But there's a catch in that. Soya
Yeah,
sauce
salt.
is very good. Too much salt.
Yeah.
It's salt
Well,
liquefied.
you know, they do have low sodium soy sauce available.
Then you
now.
go for
Kiko
that.
Man.
Yes.
All right, what about olive oil?
Olive oil is excellent.
Yeah, so you could mix a little bit of olive oil, maybe some balsamic vinegar, vinaigrette, and put that. You know, I heard-
Vinegar, that's
yeah,
good.
I heard a guy told me over the weekend.
That's a good suggestion. Vinegar, olive oil, make your own
That's right.
salad dressing.
Yeah, well.
You know, other one is unfortunately, it offsets the good of eating veggies.
Well, you know, the thing that I think that we're doing here at Breaking News and Wellness is Health is bringing a dialogue to the forefront that we begin to talk about those things. Now, I was in Atlanta over the weekend, and I was talking to a friend of mine from Oklahoma, and, you know, he looked at me and he noticed that I've expanded a bit while I've been in
you have
recovery.
lost some.
I have lost some, but I need to lose more. He hadn't seen me for 2 years.
Oh.
And he said if you eat take a tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar 3 times a day, it will help increase your metabolism. He said he's got a friend of his that lost 27 pounds in 3 months, and all he did was take that vinegar.
Apple cider.
Apple cider vinegar, organic, 3 times a day, 1 tablespoon. Now, he said he mixed his with water, but I'm not about that. But what I'm saying,
With olive oil.
yeah, there's
With lemon.
Yeah, there's
Stir it up.
there's a need for us to have a conversation about this because it said right here, 27% of men in the U.S. are obese and 30% of women. Now, if you go out in the market, there's no doubt about it. You can see it. People waddling down, and really, my size affected my knees, even though there was a osteoarthritis in my family, and so I got 2 knee replacements, but I'm not going to continue to balloon. I'm going to shrink like you did. Also, talk to me about chewing your food, mastication, and some of those little habits that will, because there's a mechanism. If you eat like real fast, you can eat more. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And if you chew more,
You eat less?
Yeah.
Chew more, eat less.
And it is not scientific, but we know every eating we have, say, 10,000 chewing. So if you have chew little,
Yeah.
then you need to take more food to complete that
Right.
let's say 1,000 chewing.
Right.
But if you chew more, did you get the point?
Yes.
If
You
suppose
eliminate the need for more food,
more
right?
food, so 1,000 chewing is per meal. I'm just giving you.
Now,
giving
these are like habits that we develop.
That's right.
And you know what, Doc? I think they're recorded in your brain.
You know why I said chewing? You know about satiety level? There is a satiety hormone and a satiety level.
That
in the
means
brain.
where you're satisfied, right?
Satisfied.
Okay.
Now, satiety hormone and level is connected with
Really?
chewing.
My goodness.
Yes.
Well, you know, I see a lot of people, they eat like a Labrador. You ever see, you take a little piece of meat to a Labrador dog, and you could make him do all kinds of things, sit, lay, roll over, but when it's time to eat, he grabs it and it's gone and he's looking for something else. And so you know what, as a building professional, there's a reason that stairways have to have the same size of stairs.
Yes.
It's because your brain pre-programs your foot height on the third step. That's all it takes. 1, 2, and if the third step is 1/8 of an inch off, you'll trip on it.
You'll trip.
And that means that your brain has something to do with your eating habits. You have developed habits. The number of chewies is recorded. And if you haven't chewed enough, the brain goes, wait a minute.
Got it. You got it. So 1,000 chews per meal. And if you, instead of chewing 3 per bite, if you do 10 per bite, boy, you reach that 10,000. This is all hypothetical, but it is true.
Right.
In the sense, the satiety level is all, monitors how many times you chew.
Right. And so if we learn to do that, I'll tell you, when you begin to think about how much you're chewing, how many times you chew, it also makes you aware of what you're eating and how much you're eating.
And the other thing, the chewing, that's part of the digestion.
Yes. Oh, saliva.
Saliva has starch-breaking enzymes. And so if you eat like a Labrador, then
You might have diverticulitis.
then your stomach has to do that job.
All the work.
So the more you chew, you are giving a little helping hand to your stomach.
All right, now I got a question. There's discussions about the meal size and all this, and lately I've heard that you should have a good protein-filled breakfast.
Yes.
And then your lunch should be smaller, and your evening meal should be the smallest, and you should eat before 6, so your digestive process is over the hump before you hit the sack. Is that true?
Absolutely. And here is another very interesting information that is called, and that if the more protein you have in your food, longer time it goes before you feel hungry.
Really?
Yeah. And if you have more carbohydrate, you will feel hungry sooner.
So I should eat a pound of bacon and 6 eggs instead of 4 slices? No, he's not saying that, but
No.
we have to manage our intake of certain things.
You know, the more protein
is good for you.
In the sense, the longer, I'm not saying all protein.
Right.
And what is that? The famous diet of...
Oh, yeah, low carbohydrate diet.
No, Atkins
Atkins diet.
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm telling, the more protein you have, the longer is the time before you feel hungry again. But the more carbohydrate you are, you are hungry in no time for more carbohydrate. That is the other aspect. The more protein you eat, you don't crave for carbohydrate.
So it's like the obesity or the Porky mechanism is functioning fully in carbohydrates.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is, that's a killer.
You know, have you ever heard of Ezekiel bread?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Ezekiel bread is the
The
bread
one,
that God gave to Ezekiel.
So he ate it
And
all
grain,
the time.
Yeah, 7 or 8 grains, you know, and so it kind of...
that would be balanced, and it will be good. It will have
Right.
more protein, whole protein.
You know, Daniel in the Bible too, he said he would not eat of the king's meat.
Okay.
You know, and I think maybe the king had a chocolate factory or whatever, I don't know. But all he had was pulse, which is vegetables.
And veggies.
Yeah, and
water.
And what the man noticed is that his physique was better and he hadn't lost any weight.
Now, other aspect about carbohydrate.
Mm-hmm.
Whole carbohydrate is healthy.
Like fruit carbohydrates?
Yes, everything.
Fruit, fresh
the
fruit?
grains and everything.
Okay.
But processed carbohydrate.
Processed,
like sugar. Processed carbohydrate is the one that makes you feel hungry so fast.
Yeah.
Craving for more. The reward system in the brain. But if you use whole carbohydrate balanced with whole, like Ezekiel bread, you're craving.
Now, you can recalibrate the mechanisms of your brain
with your brain.
behaviorally, right?
This is a good discussion.
Yeah, it is.
We should do this often.
Yeah. Well, I think that what we're getting to is if we can bring some of the things to the table and begin to discuss our habits, good and bad, we can begin to proactively attack without the government beating us down and pulling out the large soft drinks out of McDonald's. I don't buy that, but neither do I buy large soft drinks. So what we're saying is if we begin to talk about these things and begin to act proactively for our own benefit. What was the song? Treat yourself.
Yes.
More fruits,
Yes.
Nuts.
Yes.
More vegetables.
Go
right?
nuts on nuts.
Yes, I did. I had cashews and pistachios on the way back. So, listen, Doc, it's good to see you. I appreciate all the information you're bringing to the table. We're going to bring Dr. Ross.
Oh, yeah, then
Okay.
three of us again have a good time.
All right, man. Listen, we will be back with Dr. Ross, and we'll see you in just a moment.
Join Step Out Walk to Fight Diabetes this fall and raise money to fight diabetes. Together we can stop diabetes, one step at a time. Take your first step and register today at 1-888-DIABETES or visit diabetes.org/stepout.
Compassion Now Network for All, in short, CNN for All, Urbana, Illinois, USA.
And Bethel House of Refuge, Mahomet, Illinois, USA presents this week's breaking news in wellness and health. Hi, I'm the Pete of Dr. Z and Pete, and this is my distinguished co-host, my good friend, Dr. Alex Ramos Zechariah, and with him is our more distinguished guest.
More distinguished?
Yeah, sorry,
Of
Doc.
course, I am not distinguished.
Dr. Ross Johan, good to have you with us, Dr. Ross.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to a lively panel discussion, so let's jump right into it, and let's talk about complications in teens undergoing bariatric surgery. You know, the lap band stuff that squishes your stomach down so you lose weight. What do you think about that, Doc?
Yeah, you know, there is a recent study that those kids, or these kids that getting this surgery, suggests that severely obese teenagers who underwent this surgery has sort of not major complication. They did not have any problems. Now, this study was a follow-up for 3 years.
My goodness.
So this is the first
So
study.
it's thorough, though, right?
That's right. So 3 years, the study that showed that they had no major
Well,
complications.
Doc, here's the thing. Here, and it has across the board consequences, diets and everything. Even this bariatric weight loss surgery. Are those weight losses sustainable?
That is, now, it is kind of sustainable. This study showed that after 3 years, they stayed in the lower weight, and it is sustainable.
Yeah, and it's not just not eating, it's exercising and things like moving
so-
around, isn't it?
Yeah, obesity is a disease.
Really?
Yeah, American Medical Association has said, this year, no, last year, no, this year. Okay.
What is it, Doc?
That
This year?
obesity is a disease.
Really?
Diabetes made worse. Diabetes made worse, of course, you know that. Oh, yeah. Hypertension, stroke, heart attack. We must all treat ourselves.
You bet. Push aways. Get off the foods, fat foods, starchy foods, soda pops, all that, right? We have to
That's
start
correct.
eating a little bit better.
Right.
Treat ourselves. Thanks, Doc. All right, I got a question for you. Workaholics. You ever know workaholics? A lot of doctors are workaholics. I want to know, is workaholism good?
You know what workaholism, as you know, is work.
Yeah.
And they tend to be more anxious and tense, and they need to relax. They need to relax and enjoy their work. So they are work harder but not smarter.
Well, and I heard that if you're doing all this workaholic, compulsive, long hours and stuff, your performance goes down the tubes.
That's right. They're working hard, but the output is not that good.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want a doctor operating on me that's just gone 12 hours in the surgical room. I want a guy that's fresh and ready to roll, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Any more questions on the bariatric surgery?
Well, you answered the one before.
No, that was one on.
Sustainable weight loss. Is
Yeah,
it
that's
sustainable?
correct. Yeah, I got it.
Well, that's the only one I got. All right, look, I'm going to move from being overweight to personal injury. Question.
Yeah.
Is it safe to drive with an arm or a leg cast?
Drive
Yeah, drive
with a cast?
Yeah.
Who will do do that?
There's a lot of them doing it. If they'll text while driving, they'll drive with the calf.
Oh dear. And also, especially after an orthopedic surgery, they would have received
Narcotics,
narcotics,
pain meds.
And so therefore, with the leg in the cast and in the cast, the guy is nuts.
Yeah, in other words, your suggestion is they not drive home from the hospital, that's
You
for
get
sure.
a friend or a spouse or somebody do that driving, please,
Oh,
please, please.
absolutely. Well, thanks for that input, Doc. All right, now I'm going to go to husband and wife stuff, and you're probably an expert on that as well. I've heard that women are able to calm down a marital dispute quicker than men if they can just dial it down. What do you think?
Oh, that is, that is an age-old wisdom. And as a matter of fact, now they have shown that in a study.
Yeah.
And they confirmed that women who cool down quicker and faster, everything gets cooled down.
Well, there's probably a lot of things that feed into that, but I think by and large in a husband-wife dispute, the husband wants to get it down, but he doesn't know how to do it, and then if the wife will calm down, it brings a balm to their relationship. And I heard that really they have longer and happier marriages if the wife can really excel in this area. So
And I tell you, the women are good at it. That those women who do not calm down must hear this. That they can actually win the conflict.
yeah, so mellow is better, right? Mellow isn't yellow.
Well, when you calm down, you really won.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, I'm thinking about current medical practice and guidelines. They use a one-size-fits-all for hypertension, blood pressure things, trying to get, below 140/80. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I also have my doubts that our goal should not be just 140/80 blood pressure. Our goal should be the total person.
Yeah, total health, slim down.
Don't treat the DT cough.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Treat
Okay.
look at the person.
140/80, is that the...
Well, that is a good thing. That if they are exercising, if their diet is good, you don't have to drive that to 140/80. The other one is more important.
Mine was 121/74.
Oh, congratulations. No wonder you look so good.
You bet. Mr. Healthy.
Thank you.
Okay. You think pregnant women ought to be tested for diabetes, all of them?
Absolutely, absolutely. It never used to be. But now a recent study showed, at least they recommend that all women pregnant must have their tested for blood glucose before 13 weeks.
I got a question for you, my expert friend. Do you think the current diet, you said it didn't used to be that way, do you think our current dietary habits in this culture affects the rate of diabetes?
Yeah, the fast foods and more. So you need to be. Obesity is a disease. Diabetes, neighbors, hypertension, stroke, heart attack. Women check their DT always for diabetes.
Man, this guy is like the Elvis of
Thank you. Thank
wellness and health.
Yeah, thank
Breaking
you.
news, man. All right, another question. Older people can't hardly get out of the car, move around. You think they ought to be exercising?
They should move every joint that they can move.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. See this gray head? After an hour in the car, I have got to be exercising. So I agree with you.
Anything you move can help. Anything that you can move can really help.
Yeah.
So the more you move, the better. Exercise more. Yes, even seniors more.
Ooh.
Exercise more, even seniors. They can't walk, jog, run elliptical, but they can move every joint. And move every joint. Exercise more. Always exercise more.
Yeah, Doc, I agree
Young
with
or
you.
old, anyone.
I appreciate your dexterity
Thank you.
in music.
Thank you.
And your black hair is
Yeah,
Elvis on
thank
this
you.
album. All right, look, We've run out of time, Doc, but I want to thank you for being with us, and thank you too, Dr. Rama. We'd also like to thank Science Daily for the info that they've provided for us. Also, the City of Urbana UPTV's production team. Jason Liggett, the one, the only, is the production coordinator. Our personal intern, 3-camera Jacob Bernard, and our intern Caleb Serpenis that does all the editing. The UPTV station manager, Jake Schumacher. We'd like to thank Jake. And the Chorister Fellowship from Tiruvalla, Kerala, India, for their musical score and their Hallelujah ending. But most of all, we'd like to thank you for watching us, and we'd invite you to continue. Come back next week with breaking news in wellness and health for all people and all professionals. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Yep, thanks, Doc.